Good afternoon and welcome to Real Chicks Rock Presents Real Discussions. I'm your host for today, Michelle Dawes-Burt. And as always, I'm super excited. Yeah, there we go. I'm super excited because today is just packed and filled with a lot of information and data and people, and we're just going to give it to you. So thank you, everybody, for joining us right off the cuff. Again, we got a lot to cover, so I'm not going to belabor. I want to thank all the new listeners that check us out and have been sharing, and all the old people that have been rocking with me and supporting me. Thank you so much. Let me give a little bit of background about what Real Chicks Rock is all about. We're all about creatively collaborating and connecting to raise awareness regarding issues that impact us as women. And we do it by various different ways, through our community service platform, by public speaking, through our workshops, through mentoring, and through the media, the arts. I love this platform of late. We've been doing this now for a couple of years, and it's people like you that have been helping to get the word out and reaching the masses and sharing and putting comments and doing all that. So we really appreciate you for taking the time to spend with us every first and third Sunday of every month. Today is no different. I'm in the studio by myself. I am. Sometimes that happens because the people that I rock with or want to connect with or have conversations with, they're busy. They're not always necessarily based here in Atlanta, but through technology, we're able to bridge that gap and have these conversations. So for that, I'm excited. And today is no different. Today's topic is RCR. We're going to honor women that are recipients of the RCR award for this year. Last year we did this, and we've had the opportunity of honoring some great women last year, and this year is no different. I have two of my three honorees with me today by way of Zoom. I got one in DC and I got one in Alabama. I want you guys to help me greet Nikki, Porcher, and LeTonya Moore. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Good. How are you?
Great.
Good. You can hear me? Everybody's good? Everybody's clear? Awesome. So I'm glad you guys took some time today. You ladies are busy all over the place doing things, moving and shaking. We have been trying to have this get together for a couple of months now. But perseverance and not giving up has allowed us to have it today. So thank you in advance for taking some time. I'm going to start with LeTonya. Just tell the people a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, and what do you do?
So just very quickly, I am LeTonya Moore. I guess I could say also known, I don't know if it's better known or not, as the brand protector. I'm an attorney entrepreneur. I'm a fourth generation entrepreneur. And my goal is to help legacy-driven entrepreneurs build generational wealth and build a legacy for those coming behind them.
Nice. Awesome. Nikki! Yo, Nick, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Thank you to Real Chick Rocks. I'm a fan of Michelle, I'm a fan of the show. I'm also the founder of Lyve from a Black Woman, an organization that spreads the motion and awareness of Black women business owners. So again, I'm just honored to be here today. I'm honored to be honored by Michelle, a woman who I look up to. So for her to actually honor me is very endearing.
Oh, thank you, Nikki. Thank you. You ladies are busy, and the reason why is because you guys are so passionate about what you do. And LeTonya and I, we were all talking during the break before we actually got started. LeTonya and I met through Monica Thornton of Powerful Beginnings. LeTonya was the keynote speaker for her domestic violence gala event in Columbus, Georgia. And I attended, and it was a wonderful celebration of women who persevered through obstacles and just things that they just rose above the occasion. They just were fighters, and they were all survivors in the room. And LeTonya was just awesome that night, and I think we connected. And then we've had more connections as the year has gone on. You've been a supporter of Real Chicks Rock, and I've just been watching how you move and how you give back and how you empower and how you are a philanthropist and how you just get the right people on your show, in your space, to give the information. And it's all about just changing the narrative. Would you not agree, LeTonya?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you so much. Sometimes hearing all that stuff, it's hard to think that somebody's really talking about you, because, when you're in the moment, realistically, when you're in the moment and, you're just kind of doing things from the heart. I'm a big proponent of sowing seed. I just realized that, at the end of the day, we're blessed so that we can be a blessing. I mean, there's really no other reason outside of that, and to be in a position to do all of those things. I'm really just blessed to be in that position. And I thank you for opening your platform to people like us to, help you continue to push your vision forward.
Thank you. Nikki, same thing. You, to buy from a Black woman, you are so passionate about it. I mean, now we got buttons. I got some in my car, some in my house. I bought a T-shirt. I am a member. The branding is just been growing. Like when you order something, the box says to buy from a Black woman. Nikki, tell us, why is it so important? Why are you so passionate about that? Why?
Well, first of all, I'm a Black woman, so I'm going to be passionate about who I am, right? So if we're not passionate about ourselves, nobody else would be. But Black women are out here just taking over the world, but we still don't have the support that we need. So Black women is about not just going ahead and starting businesses, but supporting these businesses so they stay in business, right? Black women business owners support the community. They're the staple of the community, but without them, the community will not strive or grow. So we have to keep supporting them. So buy from Black women. You didn't do it this week, go ahead and do it now.
Why is it so important, ladies, for us to just stay connected as women, whether we're entrepreneurs or not? Why is it so important, especially of these times and days? Why do you think? LeTonya, I'll ask you first.
Oh my God, it's so many things that are blowing through my mind, because as women, we birth everything in this earth, right? Anything that's moving and breathing, that's human, we birth those things. And so we really, we exert our power through influence. And what better way to do that and have such a wide impact of really just birthing great things here in the earth than imparting that with other women. And I think it's so important because one of the things about women is that we're like sponges. So whatever we indulge in, it is going to grow, period. Like it's going to grow, we're going to absorb it, and that's what we're going to give off. And so think about if all of that is positive and powerful, engaging, think about how much better it's going to be when that other person pushes that out. And so for me, I'm very passionate about that. I think it's so important that we stay as cohesive as possible. But as business owners, we understand that we have to be, quote, men in business, which means that we really have to take it seriously. And we have to think about business as business and not take things so personal.
Nikki, what are your thoughts?
Just to piggyback on what LeTonya said, the personal part, right? Because business and it helps our community, it helps us. And if I see that you're doing well, I'm going to want to implement that also, because who wants to be left behind? So if we're connecting with each other and we're growing together, I'm going to feed off you, you're going to feed off me. And you can't take that personal, right? Because I'm going to want the best to come out from you. And I think, to LeTonya's point, it's needed. We have to. Like, who else but us? Who else but you?
So, Nikki, let me ask you this. What are some of the things that you think are keys to success for you as an entrepreneur? I know we don't really have hours, right? We do it whenever we can. So what are some of the things? What are some other things? Because there's so many people out here that we're calling ourselves entrepreneurs, but we're not really sure if we're walking in that cadence, right? Because we don't really see the bottom, the profit isn't there yet, or maybe we don't have the following, or we're not as impactful as we want to be. So what are some of the things that you could share with us that would keep us on the right track to success as an entrepreneur?
Well, time management is one, right? Because as an entrepreneur, the only person who's going to go ahead and get that income is you.
Right.
So you can't Netflix and chill, to be honest. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, you know what I mean? So time management, confidence. We were saying, like, you don't think you're being impactful. Somewhere, somebody is being impacted by the things that you're doing. And it might not seem like, it's happening because you're so deep into it, but being confident that what I'm doing is my purpose and my message is coming across, and just going ahead. If one person gets it or if 100 people get it, just be confident in what you're doing, because that's going to come through as a business owner. So time management, confidence, and then just, have people around you who, can help build you up.
Right.
So if it's mentors or people in your field, are just like an accountability partner, who's just like, hey, you said you want to do this. Where's that going? Are you doing it? Is it working? Make sure that you stay in line with your goals. So those three things are like key for me.
Got you. LeTonya, what are some of the ingredients for you as being a successful entrepreneur? What can you share for the listeners?
There's nothing more powerful than your network. And I remember I had the pleasure I think it was about 2 years ago, of having a short time to really just talk one-on-one with George Fraser. And that's one of the things that he told me. I was struggling at the time, and I was just all over the place, I thought. And he said, he started asking me about my network, and he said, you got $1 million network. He was like, basically, like, what are you whining about, right? But his catchphrase was, your net worth is equal to your network. And so, again, you have to think about who are you around. I mean, just like she said, it really comes down to who are the people around you. So one of the things I always tell people is that the sweet spot is to be in the middle, meaning there are people that are like 4, 5, 10, 12, 15 steps ahead of you. And they've walked that path where you're trying to go, and they can mentor you, and they can strengthen you and bring you up. But you also have to think about people that are 3, 4, 5 steps below you. They're trying to get to where you are.
Right.
And so for every time somebody pulls you up, you got to put your hand back down, and you have to pull some people who want it and who are serious, and they're hungry just like you. You have to bring them up. So for me, I would say the biggest thing is really relationship building and solidifying your network.
Awesome.
And building your relationship. Because so often people just go out and they're like, hey, can you blah, blah, blah. I don't even know. And that's like not, any slight or anything, or trying to be arrogant or egotistical.
Right.
I don't do things just one time. And you know this, Michelle.
I know.
If I connect with you, we're connected for life.
I know.
It's like, I help you in the long game. So don't just reach out to me for one time. I'm not a one and done type person.
Right.
So build that relationship and have pure intentions with that. There's no, okay, so this is what I'm asking for you, but this is also what I can give too.
Yeah.
So don't ever come to the table empty-handed when you're building your network.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it's important. Sometimes we think that we need to have a lot of fill in the blank, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of resources before people would even consider stepping to ladies like yourself, either above or, or even below. They feel like I don't have what it is. And I just want those that are listening to understand that every little bit helps, right? I think that strengthens the relationships, because it's a matter of where your heart is and your intent is when you're sowing that time, sowing that resource, or sowing that money. So it doesn't have to be a lot. I think it just has to be within good intentions. When you connect with people, and that's where the building can continue to flourish and build, because we're all small business owners. At least I am. I know, I wish I was bigger, but you gotta crawl before you walk, and then you run. And I think it's important that the little that you have, sow it in good places, watch it grow, stay connected. What's in it for me? What's in it for them? How can we continue to elevate and push each other up is really what it's about, versus I got mine, you got to figure out how you get yours. And that's not what we're about.
Nikki said, have something of value. Don't just come asking, right? Don't be the person that show up at the event with go plate. I tell people, look, when we're in this thing, this is a potluck dinner, okay? You bring the greens, I got the macaroni and cheese, right? Michelle got the sweet tea or just whatever, right? But when we all sit down, we sit down to a feast, to a great meal. You gotta think like that. You can't be the person that's just coming hungry. Right? Yeah. You got to be hungry, but you also got to be bringing some nourishment as well.
You sure do.
If you're hungry and you have money for your plate, that's cool too.
Yes, absolutely.
Listen to Jersey over there. I ain't messing with Nikki over there from Jersey. LeTonya, I'm gonna ask LeTonya, because you seem to be you're an attorney, and I just see power when I see you and you talk. And I've watched your shows. You've had them on Mondays, I believe, and I would check in. And some of the guests that you have were very informative to help our communities, to help people, to give them the information that we need. I want to ask you, because oftentimes when we're in these types of positions, we're always outpouring. So what influences you, LeTonya? What keeps you going?
Wow, it's a couple of things. I think the first thing is understanding that I feel like I have a personal responsibility on some levels. And so that really keeps me going, because I feel like, I have a personal responsibility to be positive. I also have a personal responsibility to be truthful and ethical and operate in integrity. And so for me, from a business standpoint, the other thing that keeps me going is I never forget where I came from and what I came from with regard to corporate America, some other things, my business struggles. Anybody that has heard me even tell my business story, they're like, well, why don't you just go get a job, right? Who wants to go through that? So for me, what keeps me going is understanding that part of it really is a part of my purpose and why I feel like I'm here on the earth. The other part is I want to be able to help people see that you can really do whatever you want to do, right? Just because you're an attorney, for an example, you don't have to be pigeonholed, right? Like, you can be an attorney, you can have a little, a live stream show that you do, you can have a podcast, you can write a book, you can do all these other things. You can do whatever it is that you want to do, and don't allow society to tell you what you should do based on your degrees or the way that you look and all of those things. So those are the two biggest things I think that drive me.
Got you. Nikki, how about you?
Black women drive me a lot. Just seeing like all the stuff that we're capable of, the stuff that we're doing, the stuff that we aspire to do. That's so inspirational and keeps me going, keeps me motivated in a big way. Every time you turn around, somebody's stealing something for Black women. So it's like, we doing it. So like,
Right? What is it? Is it the bonnet now or the satin cap? Like somebody.
It's everything.
It's everything. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Yeah, it's everything.
Everything. So Black women keep me going, and then just also knowing like the babies are watching, right? So I have a son, but also, I used to be a school teacher, so there was children there who would watch and making sure that they had the tools and the resources and the access that I didn't have growing up, but also that they might not even know exists. So that keeps me going too. So the current situation with Black women, and then just the babies, because I don't want them to be lost. So like LeTonya was saying, like I'm obligated to just keep going. Like I cannot, stop at this point. Like I asked the universe, like, hey, what am I supposed to be doing? It's all I'm supposed to be doing. I'll be doing a disservice not only to myself but to my community if I stop going. So I have to. I gotta keep going.
That segues into my next question, Nikki, and I'll just leave it with you, because I wanted to know, what do you do when you feel like things are falling apart, right? Because you are a teacher, right? You were a teacher. You have this beautiful child that, as you call on social media, the brown boy. You have this passion, engaging women and encouraging people, not just women, but people, to buy from a Black woman. But there are often times where we're just like, we hit a wall, or we just don't know what our next move is. How do you keep going, Nikki? How do you keep it going?
Sometimes, and don't try this at home, I drink. That's advice for sometimes. That keeps me going drinking. I'm sorry.
I can't with her. Is it whiskey? Is it whiskey in the morning still, Nick?
Yeah. I take my shot I take a shot every morning.
Yeah. Put it in your coffee.
I don't put it in my coffee.
No, she take it straight.
I just drink.
She's straight.
But on a serious note, like I do have like a scrapbook and like screenshots of empowerment messages from other people, whether it be from other children, from family members, from my friends, just stuff that I'll take time to reflect on, to that reminds me that all is not for naught. I meditate, I do yoga, I run. So that stuff keeps me going too, and helps keep me grounded. I had a rough conversation with my mother a couple weeks ago, and it got ugly, but because moms are moms,
right?
But it was needed, right?
Okay.
It was needed. So she keeps me, in check too. So, but that goes back to what we were saying earlier, making sure you have people around you who remind you of the good, but also remind you like, hey, you need to chill the fuck out. I'm sorry. You need to chill out.
Got you. LeTonya, how about you? You had a drink this morning, Nick?
Along the lines of what Nikki said, but I mean, I'd like to get me a nice cigar, and just be on the patio or at the cigar bar. And that is so legit, right? So that's one of the things that I will disengage in a minute and say, you know what, let me just do this real quick. So that's one of the things. The other thing is laughter. I like to watch these viral cute kid videos where they do, it's just like you can't help but laugh. I will, if I'm feeling down a little bit, like I will literally start trolling social media for kid videos and just have me a good hearty laugh as I'm smoking my cigar, right?
And I think that's important because, so often, especially through social media, Black women or Black professionals, they come across as this very like, I'm so serious all the time.
Yeah.
So conversations like, what do you guys do? I drink. She smokes cigars. Like, we don't have those real type of conversations. Everybody's just like the facade of being so professional and always on point and strong and organized. And sometimes we just out here looking at cat videos and smoking cigars and taking shots. And that's what we do.
And that's all right. And that's all right. I got you. How can people support you guys? What do you want people to do to help keep your legacy and your passion going? What can we do?
Buy from Black women.
Period. That's your whole thing, Nikki. Just buy from a Black woman. Period.
Buy from a Black woman.
Tell people a little bit more about that, because you have a directory, do you not, Nikki, of all of the businesses and services that Black women are doing and offering? Because sometimes we don't know where to go. So tell us a little bit about that.
So the Buy from Black Women directory, it is a list of businesses that are owned and operated by Black women, not like the 51% of Black women. Like, these are legit, verified Black women businesses. And when you are like, I don't know where I can get this or that, it is more than just like, no shade to like the shea butter and oil people, but it's more than just that on there. So there's professional services, there's children's service, there's like even like literary services out there, financial, travel, food services, art. Next time you're in Target, you see some art, go buy art from a Black woman who really is pouring back into the community. So you can use the directory just to go ahead and buy from a Black woman. And that keeps it going. Back to my point, Black women are in the community and they're serving their communities. Like, she's serving Alabama, I'm serving wherever I'm at. You're serving, Atlanta. We're pouring back into our community. We don't just live in the community and then go somewhere else to work. Like, we live where we work and then we're serving that community. So when you actually buy from a Black woman, you're supporting that community. You're saying, hey, I know where my dollars are going. It means something to me. Let me go ahead and give back to them so that they can continue to pour in the community and we just keep the cycle going. So that's how you can support. When you support Black women business owners, you support me. You support Buy from Black women. Also, I take donations too. But what I'm saying is, Michelle, when you have me.
Don't ever be afraid to raise the offering.
Yeah.
Right?
You have not, because you asked not.
Afraid to pass that offering plate.
Right. We are tax deductible. You get your tax receipt. But it's just really just that simple for me. And that's why my branding is all Black and white, because it's really just that simple. It's Black and white. Buy from a Black woman, support your community. That's how we keep it going. Especially with gentrification being such a hot topic these last couple years. And we're late to the table with that, right? Like, oh my gosh, they're gentrifying these areas. They've been gentrifying the areas. This is what the result of gentrification looks like. Now we're seeing it. These conversations have been happening. But we can prevent that stuff by supporting the people who are supporting our community.
Right.
Go to the small business, go to the mom and pop shop. And the service might not be, top notch, like when you compare it to Target or McDonald's, but they're not Target or McDonald's. You get what I'm saying? So we have to be conscious about that too.
If I have a business, how can I get my business in your directory?
So there's an online application. So you go ahead, you fill out the application, and then we actually verify to make sure that you're a Black woman. We've had some businesses try to sneak in that weren't Black women, or they were all the way owned by Black. So we actually verify that you are a Black woman before you're listed.
Okay.
And within like 84 hours, and I say 84 because I can't do 24 no more. So I'll be keeping it real. I'm real.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, she can't do it in 24. She's 84. Why 84? Just pick the number because it sounds better than 100. Right. Oh, got it.
I did my average response rate, and it was 84.
84 hours. Okay, Nick. Okay.
But, then you'll be listed on a directory. Right now, we have a community member box where you'll get a box of products by 8 Black women business owners, and there's like different products that you get in return for your donation. And all those members, all those businesses are on the directory. So those businesses were picked from the directory to be in the box.
And your directory represents women across the nation. It's not just Atlanta specific, right? So LeTonya could be a part of the network.
I mean, like literally everywhere. I even have some international people on the directory.
Nice.
So Black women business owners from all over.
Got you. So the criteria is just simply Black and 100% owned by a Black woman or women per se. Could be a group of women that own that business. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. What's your website, Nick?
buyfromablackwoman.com.org.net.biz.
You bought all of them?
All of them. I found them all. So there's no mistake. Like just type in buy from a Black woman, you will get me.
Got you. Got you. LeTonya, how can people support what you do? How can we support you?
I'm doing a couple of things so one big thing I'm really proud of, I am about to release a book in September called How to Stop Brand Stealing Thieves. And it is a introductory playbook for entrepreneurs. And it's written exactly like a playbook. So literally anybody can pick this up and follow the principles in the book. They can pick the best lawyer, the best accountant, the best insurance professional. And so, they know what to look for when they are building a relationship with a financier or a banker or a financial institution. They know what to look for when they are determining whether they should collaborate with people, how to address or approach, should they do a mastermind network, and all of these things. And one of the ways that people can support me, in addition to buying the book, is utilizing the principles in the book, right? So I definitely want people to get the book. It's going to be released next month. They can connect with me on my website and get on the list, because right now, for the first 100 people that get on the list, I'm actually giving the book away for free. You just have to pay $7.95 for shipping and handling. That's in the U.S.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I say that. that is in the United States. The other thing too is be ready to move forward whenever you reach out. That's very important, right? Be serious. Don't waste anyone's time.
Right.
Not just mine, but don't waste anyone's time. I mean, if you know that you're coming to someone for information and things of that nature, make sure that you really are looking to do something, and not just, deciding that you didn't have anything else to do these last 30 minutes. But more specifically too, a second thing that I'm doing is something called a Brand Protection Academy, which is legal education for entrepreneurs and professionals that are looking at really solidifying their business and building and solidifying their infrastructure, but also positioning themselves to protect their assets. Again, you can't have generational wealth if you don't protect your assets, right? If you're not set up correctly for succession planning and to be able to hold things off. I think in the Black community, one of the things that we have a problem with is passing the baton, right? We don't want anybody to come behind us and do a better job. Well, that's how businesses grow. And that's why I always tell people, I'm a fourth generation entrepreneur, but I got a new business. Nobody handed me anything. So for me, I'm very passionate about changing that. So how can people support me? Be passionate about making a change and being the change that you want to see, and make sure that you are serious about what's the next step for your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, whoever it is that's coming behind you.
LeTonya, oftentimes when we're small business, we don't know if we want to be a sole proprietor, LLC. Is it when we rock with you and in the information in the book, would it kind of give us which way we should go, or how do we maneuver through that?
It will give you general information about making that decision. Because one of the things about being a sole proprietor, LLC, and all of that, people usually go online and they'll read a blog and they'll make a decision, right? And what'll happen is you really are not even structured right, because these things are industry specific. So just real quickly, I will share with the viewers and the listeners is that all this really comes down to liability. So let me tell you guys something. This is totally different from anything anybody else is going to tell you. Do not spend a whole lot of money setting up a company if you don't know it's going to work. If you don't know that 6 months from now, you're going to be grinding just as hard as you are right now, you're going to be just as motivated as you are right now, then don't worry about it. Right? I'm telling you, don't spend a lot of money doing that, because what's going to happen is not only are you going to be discouraged with that particular business venture, you're going to be turned off anyway, because you're going to be looking at this LLC and you're going to be saying that was a failed business versus, okay, let me practice first and then get everything together. And when I figure, okay, yeah, this is the way I want to move, this is the way I want to rock, let me do it. Now you got a track record, right? You have some successes, so you're coming into this business venture with success. Answer your question, yes, it will talk about how to make certain decisions, but this is really, really very narrowly about protecting your brand, which is the one thing that people neglect. They think about the things, Michelle, that you mentioned. They think about, well, what's my business structure? They think about business credit, they think about EINs. They don't think about, well, should I even talk to somebody about this without an NDA? Right? They don't think about, okay, this is my friend and I want to have this event and I'm bringing her in to help me plan it, but they don't think about a non-compete, or they don't think about, well, we should have some type of collaboration. These are the things that are in the book. It's really the things that people don't think about, and it's information that's not readily available that they could just go online and find it.
Got you. Nikki, what's next for you? Because you've been a busy bugaboo. On tour, hitting a 10-city tour, talking and speaking with women in 10 different cities in 10 different states. You've been on fire. So how's the tour? Is it done, or we got one more city? Where are we with the tour?
So the tour is done. The tour concluded in July. I'm in DC now for the U.S. Black Chambers Convention that's going on this week. So
nice.
Gathering information to give back to the community for those people who cannot make it. So if you follow me on any socials, I'll be doing a lot of behind the scenes type stuff and sharing the information that I get, so I can share with the community members who are not able to actually come to DC and share that. So that's that. What's next? What I got going on next? I got some stuff going on. A couple of speaking engagements. I'll be in Austin. I got something in Atlanta. I'm in Charlotte Wednesday.
You're just everywhere. And I heard you say, I used to teach. Is that? Wow.
Yes. I am no longer a full-time teacher.
Ooh, congratulations. You're doing it.
And this is a conversation I was having, and a whole blog post is coming out. But when so many people, they say, oh, they're going to go full in entrepreneurship, I'm stepping out on faith. I stepped out on savings, so I did not step out on faith. That's important to know. So faith was a part of it, but there was a backup plan as far as income. I still teach classes part-time. I teach yoga. I teach art part-time. I do some remote stuff. So I'm still working. I'm still within my income, but Buy from Black Women was this last year has been amazing.
Yes.
As far as the reach and what's been growing into. So, and to LeTonya's point, so the first 3 years I was doing it part-time. I was working a full-time job, but I was doing it, when I had time, or I was early in the morning, late at night. So this is the year where I'm going all the way in, and you can actually see the difference, right? Because I'm literally everywhere now.
Yeah.
And, work is happening, the community is growing, the education is happening. And I'm going to talk to LeTonya more offline about her book, because that's information that, I've had those sideline conversations, but again, there's so much stuff that happens that people do not talk about in the front end because it doesn't look good. You know what I mean? But that's how businesses grow, and that's how they stay in business.
Absolutely. Good stuff. LeTonya, what's next for you? What's going on with you? You've got some speaking engagements coming on. I mean, you say you're in Alabama, but you don't have a problem coming to Atlanta. You just everywhere. What's going on with you, LeTonya?
Well, the next thing, actually, the end of this week, I'm going to be speaking in Chicago for an event called The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Rocks and Rules the World. It's really about just coming together of, it's women from cryptocurrency, real estate investing, asset protection, construction, just all sorts of things. But basically, it's sponsored by a group called More Gold Investors. And basically, the conference is really about bringing people together that's really about solidifying generational wealth. It's like I've just been sucked into this vacuum of people, and it's just awesome. So I'm doing that. Next month, I am actually hosting something called the International Impact Summit, which is a conference at sea. It's kind of like a small, intimate event. It's a lot of cool people. We're going to go to Nassau, and while there, that's where I'm actually going to be releasing my book there in Nassau, Bahamas. And I will be speaking as part of something called the Business Beyond Borders Initiative, which I'm doing with the lady in the Bahamas. And that really is like for lack of a better word, like an entrepreneur exchange. So her constituents really want to do business over here in the US. And so, of course, everybody here, they want to go international. So we've been working now about 6 or 8 months on a process of how do we do this exchange? How do we work it and make sure that the people that come from over here, they have all the things that they need if they want to do business, for example, in the Bahamas, and the same thing back and forth. So I have lawyers that I work with on that end. They work with me on this. And so I'm very excited because next month, that is the launch. The next thing is the Brand Protection Academy, like I told you about, and it's a cohort. I want to say it accommodates about 16, anywhere from 12 to 16. For people that want to be a part of the cohort, it is a 7-week program. And it's literally a legal education program. So we're not teaching people about speaking, sales, funnels, none of that, right? It is really legal education. And that's great stuff, but that's just not what we do. It's legal education, but it's brand protection, where I always say, we're talking about protecting, your business, your brand, but also your babies. And it's everything. So I do have a life coach. You guys may know him. We co-host a Tuesday night show, Mario Brown. And so he is doing like a self-prioritization, not exactly self-care, but he's doing self-prioritization. And then everything else is pretty much legal in nature. Besides, we're also doing something on disaster preparedness, which a lot of home-based businesses don't even think about. So I'm very excited about that because I think that's going to be that thing that allows a home-based business, or at least a very small business, to operate just like some of the larger companies.
Nice. You're busy. That's why it took us a minute to get you here today, because you're just busy in a good kind of way. Are you still doing the show, LeTonya? Are you still doing your talk show on Mondays?
Actually, it has kind of evolved. Now it's on Amazon Fire TV, where we do have a 5-star rating. And so right now it's pre-taped or pre-recorded, and then it's sent over to Amazon Fire TV. Right now, I just do impromptu videos where, if something gets on my nerves, I just figure I'm gonna do a video about it. But people can go to they can go to Facebook, and they can follow Power of Attorney TV Facebook page. And we also have a companion podcast that has all of the shows, and that does air on Mondays as well.
Okay. And what is it called? Because you were going out a little bit. Power of Attorney?
Yes, it's called it's just called the Power of Attorney TV show, Power of Attorney with LeTonya Moore.
Got you. Nikki, how can people find you? Buyfromablackwoman.com, org, biz, everything.
Net info me.
Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter is Buy From a Black Woman. Email is info@buyfromablackwoman. Everything Buy From a Black Woman. Like, that's how you can find me. It's simple.
Awesome. I wanted to thank you, ladies, because you ladies are inspiration to me. As I said at the top of the conversation, we had a Real Chicks Rock Awards luncheon last year, and we honored some women that had done some phenomenal things in the community, and I wanted to keep that trajectory going on, and so this year was no different. We just didn't have the luncheon, but I still wanted to honor you both. So I'm going to mail to you guys, because I don't know when I'm going to see you, because you guys are so busy. And it's just a little recognition of everything that you've done in your careers, for your community, and just for women overall. So thank you. And thank you for everything that you've done. That is my time. I want to thank you, ladies, for joining me today. That is my time. You know me, the Real Chick. I am everywhere. But I'm going to keep it simple. I am on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. But if you really want to know, go to the website. I'm at realchicksrock.com. We're putting everything out there. Today, commemorated, I'm wearing the brand today. Right, because we're honoring Real Chicks Rock women recipients. So I thought I'd wear the t-shirt today. We got t-shirts on the website as well. We got some new stuff coming on. So just stay plugged in, tune in. Follow my recipients. These women are dope. I only want to associate with dope women because I'm trying to vibrate and get to a higher level myself. So yes, let's all pitch in, support one another, shares, pass the word. Don't be stingy with information and knowledge. You want to get somewhere, you need your network and circle of friends like these women to help get where you need to be. I wish you ladies nothing but continued success. I will bug you via texting and emailing as I do. And I wish you nothing but the best. You guys continue to do what you do. For the people watching and listening, until next time, you guys take care. Continue to rock on. Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thanks.